What's up, guys? I'm registered in one of the most important class in USLA, which is University of California, Los Angeles. I'm taking course of big data. As you all know, this is a very important topic. We all have to know, at least in a basic level, to understand the way of the world. So I've only taken the courses first week, and my ability and my knowledge on this course is very basic one. And I would like to record a video about what I have learned, because it makes me more comfortable on this topic. So I'm going to share my notes with you. First of all, what is big data? Big data is actually what we have all been producing. As I'm a student, I've taken this course and I'm sharing with you. So I'm recording a video. I am doing some stuff on the internet. I'm producing more data. I'm tweeting. I'm producing data. I'm changing my location, and the apps are watching me, so I'm producing data. Actually, we are producing data in all day long, and it is inevitable. But the big data specifically focuses on that. Big data is what we cannot follow. After the foundation of the internet, and when people start having personalized computers, we start doing more stuff on the internet, and this produce lots of more data than the usual, and it makes hard to follow, because a lot of data are unstructured. A lot of data on the internet are unstructured, which means we don't know what they really are, and we cannot make use from it. So big data is in specific want to specialize especially on unstructured data, to make them structured and make them useful. I mean, what are we going to do really with all those mass? I mean, there are a lot of data and we cannot analyze them. So that's why we have supercomputers. What is a supercomputer? Mate, let me tell you, a supercomputer is a combination of a lots of computer. But the difference is it works like a one computer, because the data, in order to be analyzed, there need to be a lot of engines, right? So this is what a supercomputer does. But why we really need to do this process? Because if we have a big data, and if we analyze it, if we understand what and how people behave, and what people want and what people don't want, right? So we can create better models. This is what all the topics is about. If we can make better models, then we can create better precision. Don't assume it as only a market model, but assume you are trying to predict how and when fire starts, right? Especially in hot regions. So you want to predict when and how it starts. So in order to do that, you need to have a lot of data to create better model and predict the time it can start in the future. So it will help you having higher precisions. If you want to assume it as a market model, I mean the way of people's behave, then you can create better personalized market. Recommendation engine in YouTube, we are receiving a lot of recommendation. Would you like to watch this, right? A lot of this kind of recommendations. And how the YouTube show that? It look up our recent history. I mean, if I watch the X channel for a certain amount of time, it starts assuming that you like this channel, so you could like this one too. And this is how they do it. Sentiment analysis, it is more important. It includes a lot of linguistic and computational linguistic ability to assess what people think about a specific firm, person, or let's think maybe advertisement. If you tweet something on Twitter, which will be analyzed, I mean, the firms want to learn what people think about them, and in order to do that, they need to have a sentiment analysis packages, because they could understand what people are saying. But do you know that one of the most big sources of big data is actually derived from your mobile phone? Like, the mobile phones are one of the most biggest, like the biggest sources you can ever imagine for big data. And people, therefore, are receiving ads specifically targeted on mobile devices. For example, it's very interesting that some firms are using your location to show you better, like, for example, I am living in York, let's say in England, alright? I'm not living in England, I'm living in Turkey, but let's assume I am living in York, and I am living in X Street, and I have a kind of some apps on my phone, and they have a right to follow my location. Let's assume I went to Istanbul for a day. Let's assume I'm looking forward to eat something. Let's assume I look at my phone and I'm hanging on the internet and something just pumped up. It's a free coupon for your dinner. And what will happen when I turn the corner? I will see that restaurant and I will decide to eat there. And how they do that? How they do that is they follow where I am. I'm in Istanbul, right? And I am a tourist. And they know it because as I live in York. Because they know it, I went to Istanbul and I'm looking somewhere to eat, because they can predict when I eat. Especially they could follow if I have some kind of eating application. They would know what type of food I eat, and that's why they will show me that ad, and the firm will gain from it for no reason. This is how the big data works. As I already mentioned, there are a lot of sources. For example, there are a lot of sources to collect your data. Your mobile phone, maybe your computer, even your PlayStation could be one of the most essential source for a big data to understand you and categorize you in a specific order. So alright, I already told you that the people are the source, but they are not the only source. Also, there are machines data, which is one of the most essential thing. Like, if the plane will not obtain any data and do not share those data with pilot, then the pilot will do not know what's going on if there is a problem. And also there are organizational data and the people's data. If we integrate all those sources in one basket, then we will get better predictions. What smart devices do is that they connect themselves to other devices, which will flourish your data to be understood, right? And they collect and analyze all those data autonomously. And the environmental content, which means they will provide you an environmental profile, as it says. Let me tell you, one of the most important source for machine generated data is social media, is derived from social, which are usually unstructured. What does that mean? Is they will not be able to understand what your data is in reality saying, right? They don't understand what it is saying, so which is not predefined data model. If we can structure, if data are structured, then it means that they are predefined and they are able to create new real value. Maybe your sales receipt is a good source for structured data because it shows you the specific date, when did you eat, where did you go, right? It gives you those information and it is structured data. But if you consider your WhatsApp messages, your tweets, they are in general are not well structured and therefore does not create in real value. So real receipts are structured data, but tweets or WhatsApp messages are not. As we see all those problems, how the firms tackle with those all problems, right? Well, the multiple data sources can be valued by this way. These are the layers, and retrieval and storage, pre-processing and analysis is how you do it. Although still there are a lot of firms that use the traditional data warehouses, usually today's technological advancement paved the way of collecting all those data in cloud. Usually data silos are really out of their times. Like we know, like there are a lot of firms still using the same method, same traditional method. It does not make any use. So what do we do as being aware of the new technological advancement? We use clouds to collect those old data and create new models, but we don't really use these unconnected information islands. Do you know how the silo works? So, for example, lots of apps collecting your data and storing them in some specific files, and this is your data. And some other firms do the same thing, and some other firms do the same thing, and this goes on like that. And what we do get in return, that does not connect it to each other, that those old data are not connected to each other, and it is really a bad thing, because that will not help you. But if you make them connected to each other, then you will have better predictions and better analysis. To sum up, different data models which will make the process harder, but it will make richer at the same time, that the gains you can take from it. So to do that, we need to collectivize data and data integration to make data richer and the models become like better.